The opinions expressed are those of the show's host and not the staff or management of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters. Any reproduction without written consent of WSTU and WPSL is strictly prohibited. Now it's time for Quality of Life Radio, brought to you by Cigna. Here are your hosts, Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier.
Hello and a healthy good morning to all of our friends listening in on this beautiful Tuesday, September 8th. I am your host, Gary Owen.
And I'm your co-host, Tom Bouvier.
And we're bringing you live the Quality of Life Radio Show, and we are streaming live this morning. We know we've got a lot of folks listening in and watching from all over the state of Florida. So for those of you that are watching live on WSTUtv.com, good morning. And those of you that are listening in and watching live on Facebook Live, good morning to you as well. And you also can find us on WSTU 1450 and WPSL 1590 AM, and also catch us on TuneIn on Alexa. So, Tom, why are we here?
Gary, we're here not because there's any place better to be, because who wouldn't want to be here on a Tuesday morning? But we're here to do three things. Number one, bring relevant content to our listeners, so that you really get some quality information from us. We're here to support and showcase our business owners, people who are doing business in this beautiful treasure. Education and information that'll help enhance the name of the show, the Quality of Life Radio Broadcast Show.
And by the way, we're having some technical difficulties with our Facebook Live. Now, we don't want you to see us, watch us upside down. Maybe the attorney, it's okay, but I like for my people to watch me the right side up. Anyway, speaking of relevant content, we're going to welcome our featured guest here in just a moment, Brandon Woodward. He will be on our first part of the show. And then on the second part of our show, Tom and I are going to share our knowledge, experience, and candor about important insurance solutions that will enhance and improve your quality of life, the pitfalls to avoid, total transparency, and just good old-fashioned simplicity, because we know that that insurance is complicated. It's a very complicated thing. So it's our mission to
simplify insurance planning so that you can enjoy the stress-free life that you deserve.
I don't know what's going on with the stress, but I haven't found a stress-free life yet. But I'm working. I'm trying to find it. Maybe.
May I interest you in some insurance planning, Mr. Owen?
Insurance planning and some margaritas, maybe. It might be in our future, right, Mr. Woodward?
Absolutely.
So we're thrilled to introduce to you this morning this week's guest, Brandon Woodward. He's the managing partner of Woodward, Kelly, Fulton, and Kaplan Law Firm in Stewart. In fact, I could hit him first. Before we get into the business aspect, I want to know, audience wants to know about the Brandon factor, the B factor.
The B factor, sure. My name is Brandon Woodward. I born and raised in, I was born in a little town called Raytown, Missouri, and which is just outside of Kansas City, Missouri. You love a good trivia fact. The show Mama's Family with Carol Burnett, set in Raytown, Missouri. Bet you didn't know that one. Bottom line is I went to college in Kansas, gigantic corporations, and made my way down to Florida with my entire family about 11 years ago.
Now, would that make you a Kansas City Chiefs fan or a New Orleans Saints fan?
I am not
Pittsburgh Steelers fan, baby.
No. We are proud Chiefs and Royals fans around my house.
Absolutely. Great year last year.
Had a very, very good year.
Yeah.
All right. So our technical advisor here in the studio, I think we are on set, ready to go, right? On Facebook Live. I think we're situated perfectly now. Beautiful. All right. So now we're looking even better, and not like you had some cocktails this morning. So, Brandon, in addition to being a business lawyer, I want everyone to know out there that this guy is super smart. He is also a professor of business law at Indian River State College. He's also a certified mentor for the SCORE organization, which is an arm of the SBA. He is, in fact, ranked in the top 10% of all attorneys in the country by Martindale-Hubbell, which is a gold standard in attorney rating. So I think that we are blessed to have you in our presence.
No.
Well, the community is blessed because his expertise is felt far and wide.
Yeah, listen, I mean, this is what we bring. We bring relevant content, great people who have the experience, and our local business owners. Again, I keep raising the flag and preaching on top of the mountaintop that it's important to do business with a local business. So here we have a local business and a great attorney and a great guy. And Brandon, besides, we know the business law seems like a pretty broad area. So tell us a little bit more about business law.
Absolutely. My firm handles exclusively business law. We don't do injury type cases. We don't do criminal. We don't do family law. We stay in our lane when it comes to things dealing with finance, business, finance, money, and transactions. It's basically deals, Tom. And business law and where I come in generally is the intersection of what a business owner wants to get done and the legal ways of doing it. And most of what we do and what most people think about business law is contracts.
Correct. And I've signed quite a few contracts in my life. Now, do you do real estate contracts?
We do. Those are some very, very large contracts. Most people don't buy a house. Maybe they buy a few houses in their lifetime. Same thing with businesses, buying and selling businesses. That's a contract. That's not a DIY type job. Let people handle your contracts that do them every single day and don't get burned.
In this day and age, I guess a handshake and a smile just won't do.
No, unfortunately it doesn't. And there's a few areas, particularly like borrowing money, where your deal and your transaction has to be written down to be enforceable at all.
So do you say written down? I mean, so if we take a scrap of paper and say, I just gave you $5,000 and you owe me this much money by this date, is that good enough, Brandon? Or does it just quite doesn't work?
Honestly, it's better than nothing. I'll give you that much. I'll give you that much, Gary. No. There's certain things, even if it's a purchase order at a business, you want to make sure all the right details are there. The price, the quantity, the delivery date. What could go wrong? What if you don't get enough of the materials you ordered? If somebody wants to come to your business or wants to take a large chunk of your supply, that's something you need to get in writing before you commit to an order of that size. Same thing if somebody wants to hire some of your talent or take up a lot of your time. Be sure you have the heads up before you get excited about a big deal. Take a minute, step back, and get it all down in writing, and go with somebody. Spend a few bucks and have it done professionally. And don't wing it. That is the one thing that people come through my office. They've tried to wing it on a transaction and they're burned.
Well, unless you're a bird, it's not good to wing it.
No, not a winging it type thing.
Not good. So I probably early part of next year, my lease will be up and I'll be signing a new lease. So for a guy like me and for all the business owners out there who are looking to get in a new lease, it's important to talk to you about that arrangement, what it looks like. And maybe there might be clauses in there that may not be good for us that, and it's a red flag for us.
It is. Commercial leases are fairly complex. They're usually written by the landlord, by the landlord's an attorney. So commercial leasing is its own animal. It has its own language. There are terms in there that somebody that doesn't do this every day just might go right over and like, oh, well, that seems reasonable. But if you don't deal with them every day, you don't really know what the market is. You don't really know, well, that's unreasonable. That's not something that a commercial tenant should be taking on. Even along the way, I try to help my clients with easy things. In your example, next year, if you rent a new space, get a second opinion on the air conditioning, because 9 times out of 10, the air conditioning and the HVAC system is the responsibility of the tenant. Now, write all this down, because this is an important part that I'm going to be looking for in a commercial lease. Who is responsible for the HVAC? A lot of times, if the HVAC goes out, the tenant has to put a new one up there. That can cost you thousands of dollars. And do you get to take it with you when you leave? No, you don't. Get a second opinion on air conditioning. Make the HVAC clause in a commercial lease needs to be well written and really thought through.
What are your favorite kinds of business cases? I mean, first of all, let's back up for a second. How long have you been doing this now, practicing business law?
20 years, 21 years.
21 years. I thought you were only 22.
No, it's no. Business law exclusive. I've been down here with my own shop. The firm was founded here in Stewart in 2011, doing that. But before that, I was a in-house counsel to several very, very large Fortune 500, Fortune 200 companies, both public and private. But what was your question?
Yeah, so what are your
My
favorite
favorites?
kinds of cocktails? No, your business
have that.
cases.
Favorite kind of business contract and my favorite kind of business transaction is the buying and selling of businesses. This is something where I see a business owner, small, medium, or large, work their entire career for a moment where they might want to leave it. They might want to sell it. I've built up something here. How do we turn that into money to retire? Maybe there's a health event that maybe triggers a sale. Maybe you get a buyer. Your competitor wants to buy you out. What does that look like? First of all, the time to start thinking about that is not weeks, not months, years before the business goes up for sale, or even before you think about it. There's some things you can do to get ready for it. But once there's an offer on the table, then we really start. This used to be called mergers and acquisitions back in the day. Buying and selling in businesses, there are certain steps that go along the way to make sure everybody gets what they're looking for, just like every other contract. Certain processes are followed, certain steps go a certain way, and usually having an attorney on your side makes that a whole heck of a lot smoother. This, among all the kinds of law out there, this does not lend itself to Googling. Do not Yelp this. Do not look at YouTube for this. Do not look at legal forums for this, because there's a ton of bad information that's out there. Go with somebody that you hire a firm. Let us help you. You will be better off in the end. I no guarantees in this world. That is almost close to one.
Well, I know this great firm on East Ocean Boulevard that can help our listening audience. Brandon, how do they reach you, and where are you located, and what's the best contact number for you?
Absolutely. Woodward, Kelly, Fulton, and Kaplan. We are located in the Geary Law Building, which is 27 Southeast Ocean. We are directly across the street from Owen, by the way. Our building's 113 years old. It was the first medical building of the Treasure Coast. So we wear that kind of proudly. So number at the office is 772-497-6544, where our phones are answered 24 hours a day. I didn't say they were answered by me, but the end of the story is you can always reach us, and we do get back to people. We do want to help people in our community when it comes to the business and commercial side of things.
So this is going to be a good question for all of our listeners out there who are small business owners, or maybe who are looking to become a small business owner, because I know I referred you a guy a long time ago who is looking to establish a business. What are the steps that potential small business owner needs to take, and what are the pitfalls he should avoid?
Well, there's a couple things.
Or she.
He or she, absolutely. The thing about here in the state of Florida, it's very easy to start into business. We have this wonderful system called SunBiz, and I like and I dislike SunBiz in equal measures, because it is so easy to use. People get themselves in trouble with it. A lot of times, I just formed an LLC on SunBiz, and I did it with 3 partners. But here's the thing. If you're in business with somebody else, it's one of those things, Gary, it has to be written down. What is the deal between those partners? What does your ownership agreement to run the business actually look like? But even if you're going into it for yourself, which was your question, you certainly want to start the company the right way. You want to pick the right business structure. You want to make sure your contracts, whether they're supply contracts or your vendor contracts or your lease, are all done right. You're not going to stay in business very long if you keep getting burned, if you make mistakes along the way. And trust me, I have made all of the mistakes as a small business owner that you can make. So I've been there. I get it. And I hope to pass that along to new business owners too. Have somebody in your corner that knows the local landscape, like their insurance broker, their accountant, or their attorney. Those are the best suggestions. If you want to sell Italian ice, or you want to be a pet groomer or a dog walker, be my guest. Give us a call. We can kind of give you the very light, sort of easy way to get into business and do it the right way.
And by the way, if you need to reach us in the studio and you have a question to ask, you can dial 772-220-WSTU. It's 772-220-9788. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with you in a second. And you are listening to WSTU 1450, WPSL 1590 AM. From Palm Bay to the Palm Beaches, we are the Quality of Life Radio Show. All right, welcome back to the Quality of Life Radio Show. This is Gary Owen and Tom Bouvier with you this morning, and we hope that you're having a great day. And we hope that you had a safe and happy, phenomenal Labor Day that didn't include too much labor. So, Brandon, how was your Labor Day? What did it look like?
It was a very, very nice time. We spent some time with the family, went to the beach, down to Coral Cove, did a little snorkeling. The high tide, it was nice and clear that day. And yesterday I spent about 11 hours smoking a brisket. Remember, I am from Kansas City. We do know our way around around livestock.
I'm glad you didn't say you're smoking a cigar.
No. That's no. I smoked a really nice brisket yesterday and had that for dinner. Really good.
That sounds excellent. Actually, we've got some steaks to cook tonight, but it was kind of low key yesterday for us. Tom, I know you had 4 days off, and you labored your 4 days.
I did some work for a few days, and then yesterday was lazy, lay around the house, take a few naps, and go to the pool and swim. So actually, it was very relaxing yesterday.
I'm going to, before I go back to Brandon, because there's probably the single most important question we haven't asked him yet.
Oh, boy.
And it has nothing to do with what he's wearing. So, but hang tight for that question. It's coming in just a moment. But I want to share with you what happened this day in history, September 8th, 1504, Tom.
Woo.
Do you have any idea, Brandon, Tom, Evan, what happened this day in 1504?
Google.
Yeah. So, Google it. For those of you that may not know, but I'm going to share it with you, so I'm going to tell you before you have a chance to Google. One of the world's most beloved works of art, David, the 17-foot tall, 12,000-pound marble masterpiece by Michelangelo, is unveiled to the public. Where? In Florence, beautiful Florence, Italy. So it was carved from a single block of white Italian Carrara marble that had been rejected by other artists for being flawed. The massive statue depicts a nude Tom Bouvier. I'm sorry, a nude David, the biblical. The biblical hero who used a slingshot to slay the giant Goliath. Michelangelo was only 26 at the time of commission. While most depictions of David featured a boy, Michelangelo's version was that of a muscular man with a sling in his left and a rock in his right hand. And the statue is widely considered one of the finest examples of high Renaissance art. So figured that was interesting to share. And I've seen Michelangelo, and kind of reminded me of Tom Bouvier, actually. Just a little bit, Tom.
Oh, well, I'm flattered.
You sexy hunk, you. Yeah. So we are going to ask this may or may not be the final question for Brandon. We'll see how it goes. But I think there's a lot of people out there who are small business owners, Brandon, or who might be thinking of getting into business. And you see all these attorneys advertise that they get free consultation and things of that nature. So how does your business work? So somebody wants to come in and talk to you. Do you give them a free consult? Do you charge them $1,000 an hour? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
That's a great question, Gary. There are free attorneys that give free consults out there. That is very, very common in the personal injury side of things.
Yes.
On the business side of things, and the answer at our firm is no. We don't give free consultations. And here's why. Before your listeners all revolt and say, why am I not owed a free consultation? Here's the reason why. Number one, a lot of times we're able to solve the problem right there in the first meeting. It might not be a case at all. You might not have an issue. We might just talk it through and say, well, there's nothing for an attorney to do. The case or the issue might not be ready yet. Well, this hasn't happened yet. Why are you seeing us about it? A lot of times we go right to the person and say, do you have a budget for legal? If we do get involved, what is your budget to solve this problem? And if the answer to any of those questions is, well, we're not, well, they're kind of tire kicking. They're kind of looking around, fishing for answers that could be found on Google or otherwise. When we sit down with a client, we prepare for it. We go ahead of time. We're looking at the issues. We want to make sure our clients have skin in the game and they're serious about solving the problem. And after 20 years, I've learned this. People don't listen to free advice. It is worth what you pay for it. And if you give away free legal advice, they just don't listen to you.
So I have a similar experience. I mean, I haven't been doing my business for 20 years. It's been 13 years. It seems like 23 years. But to your point, Brandon, I mean, agents, and we have roughly 400 agents across the state of Florida that work with us. And this morning, I had a call from an agent that wanted me to provide this person free E&O insurance, free leads, pay for the AHIP certification, and it goes on and on. I'm like, it isn't going to happen. There's got to be skin in the game, because I've been down that road before where, you know, you feel for an agent, you want to help them out the best to your ability. And we go the extra mile to help agents. And sometimes we even co-op lead programs for agents to help them to build their business. But when I've done free things for my agents, it never, ever, never an ROI. And you spent all that money, and for what? For naught. So really, there's got to be skin in the game.
Which is not to say that it's expensive to talk to us. We will charge an hourly consult fee. We'll sit down. We'll give you as much time to talk about it, and we'll get through your problem. And at the end of a consultation with us, and this should be every consultation with every lawyer you would ever hire in your life, you want to come out of there with a plan and a budget. If you don't get those two things out of an attorney, find another attorney.
That's amazing.
And Gary, if you may, I have one other question for Brandon that's on my mind, because he mentioned partnerships. If three people want to start a business, what about two brothers who are best friends, and then they have a best friend and they want to start, let's say, a painting company? Shouldn't they just all, because they grew up together, they went to elementary school, high school, college together, and now they're going to start their own business? They're best friends. Why do they need a contract? They know they're going to.
Very good. Great question, Tom. And we have all three of us, all four of us in this room, and all your listeners have seen business tear families apart and destroy friendships. But if you take a few minutes at the outset of the relationship, when everybody's smiling and everybody's excited about the new venture, to write down a few things on paper, and this is what it protects you from. What if one of the partners passes away, gets ill, can't work the business anymore? How do we replace that labor that partner brought to it? What if there's one of the partners gets divorced? Florida's a community property state. And if one of us owns part of a company, guess what? It can be divided. It can be marital asset. Now you're in business with someone's ex-wife. Let that one just sink in for just a minute.
Yikes.
If someone is disabled, same thing. And you guys, I know you guys have lots and lots of excellent help for people and business owners when we talk about disability and things like that, particularly life insurance, disability policies. These are all the things you want to think about at the outset of a business. What could go wrong when the three guys get together for business? We also want to talk about what could go well. What if the competitor sees them and says, I want to buy them out of business. Here's $1 million. I want your book of business. I want you, and I want you out of here. I want to take over your operation. And two of the partners say, great, I'm happy to leave. And the third partner says, no, I don't. I want more money. And the deal will die because you had one stubborn partner. You didn't predict any of this when the three best friends from college sat down to start XYZ painting company. But if you sit with, an attorney or sit with somebody that has formed hundreds of businesses, we're going to ask you those questions. We're going to get these details down so that all three partners, or however many they are, can go into business comfortable and secure with each other and with their future.
That sounds good. Speaking of partners, I know you've got three other partners, but let's see how our segment goes, Tom. See if we have any time left to ask him what his other partners do and what they specialize in. So we're at the part of the show where we are going to even further enhance your quality of life and your health by sharing with you some information that everyone on the planet, well, not on the planet, but at least everyone in the United States needs to know. So whether it is that you're turning 65 and you're approaching Medicare age, or you're 72 years of age, you're retiring from your employer and you're coming off group insurance, and what does that look like? How do you enroll in Medicare? Or you could be on disability and under 65, and you're on disability for 2 years, and now you're approaching your enrollment for Medicare. So what does that look like? How do you do it? When do you do it? Tom, I mean, every day it seems like we get phone calls from potential prospects out there that are nearing their enrollment age to enroll in Medicare, but they don't know what to do. They're waiting. They're sitting. They're thinking that the card's going to come in the mail any day. Tick tock, tick tock. The day passes. Now they've missed their open enrollment.
That has not happened just a few times to me, but many times. People have walked into my office actually and said, I'm ready to enroll in a plan. Said, great, do you have your Medicare card? And they said, oh, I thought you were going to enroll me right now online and then get a Medicare plan as well.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way. But when someone does call or they're approaching age 65, the number one question I ask them is, are you currently drawing Social Security benefits? Because if they are currently drawing Social Security benefits, their Medicare Part A and Part B will be automatically shipped to them about 3 to 4 months before that they actually turn 65. So they're set. They don't have to do anything to actually apply for Medicare. They're already drawing their Social Security benefits maybe at 62, 63, 64, and their Medicare card will automatically come in the mail.
So last week, I spoke to 4 different individuals about this very same subject, and calling us to find out how do they enroll. So in one case was a gentleman that enrolled in a Medicare A and B, and still has not yet. It's been a month now, and still today still does not have his Medicare A and B card yet. So I want everyone out there who's listening to take this and to heed this advice. Do not wait to the last minute. Don't wait. Don't tarry. So you have 100 days prior to you turning 65 that you can start to enroll in your Medicare A and B. If you're, as Tom alluded, if you're already on Social Security, you're taking Social Security, it happens automatically. So you can just sit there and sip your wine, sip your margarita or your fine whiskey, and wait for your AB card to come in the mail. And so many have delayed taking Social Security, obviously. So that is when you have to enroll in your Medicare, manually enroll in Medicare A and B, and make sure you have at least minimum of a month to enroll, because they're backed up.
They are backed up.
COVID-19 has disrupted everything on the planet, including Social Security and your new Medicare card.
Absolutely. I have 6 clients right now literally waiting for their Medicare card. 4 of them should have had it before September 1st. So now they're going to have to delay their Medicare benefits, the supplements and the Medicare Advantage till October 1st. So don't delay. Get it done. And if you have any questions, give us a call at Owen Insurance Group. We can definitely guide you in that direction.
By the way, what is our number? Do you think Brandon remembers our number, or should we put him on the spot? I'm not going to put him on the spot because he doesn't call our office.
772
He just walks across the street.
210-1020.
That's right. So if you have questions about Medicare, whether it's Medicare, whether it's health insurance, whether it's disability insurance, life insurance, business continuation insurance, whatever it might be, even dental vision insurance. I mean, we do it all, long-term care insurance, annuities. If you have questions, listen, you don't have to call us to do business with us. We have to earn your trust. We have to earn your respect and earn your business. So we do that by how? We do that by providing you information, education, unbiased information, because we are a national independent brokerage agency. So we work with agents in all the states of the country, and not just here in beautiful downtown Stuart, Florida. So Tom, clients are out there listening, or prospective clients. They're not our clients yet, but they're soon going to be our client. They are approaching Medicare age, or they're going on retirement, and they need to enroll in Medicare A and B. How should they do that?
Okay, there's a couple of ways to do that. It's through the Social Security system. So you can call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213. Talk to somebody, make an appointment, and they can actually do it help you enroll for Part A and Part B over the phone. Or if you're somewhat technically able to navigate the internet, that is the easiest and fastest and maybe the most efficient way to do it, because sometimes just dealing with individuals over the phone may not be the perfect thing. So, but in this case, enrolling on SSA.gov or Social Security .gov, and then there's a part to enroll in Medicare. And if you don't want to take your Social Security benefits yet, make sure you put enroll in Medicare only. And actually, what I do for my clients, anyone who calls me that wants to know how to do that, I actually copy and paste and send them the link. All they have to do is click the button, scroll down. hit the little rectangle enroll in Medicare only
That's
button
right.
and just follow the directions. And I say, then call me when you've got a confirmation and it really went through, it's done. And then in about 2 to 3 weeks, you should get your Medicare card.
All right. So if you're calling Social Security, have a nice book and read that where, be on the computer, do something different because you're going to be on the phone waiting for at least 45 minutes.
45 is the average, I think people
At
have
least.
told me. Yeah.
And then I've had clients in our office and we were sitting there waiting. We're trying to help them and navigate some issues they had with Social Security because Social Security makes mistakes as well. And you try to resolve the consumer's issues that they have with Social Security. And then you call 45 minutes later, someone picks up and then you do your introductions. And next thing you hear is click. That is such a wonderful experience.
That's
Such a
terrible. It's
Wonderful
a
experience.
heart and the knife, or you call and they answer and they give you a different answer.
It's brutal. So listen, if you have questions, you need help, go to the experts who can help you and guide you in that path. We're going to finish our conversation. So what I'm going to do when we come back, we're going to ask Brandon the last question. And then Tom and I will finish up a little bit more information about Medicare planning. You're listening to WSTU 1450 AM, WPSL 1590 AM. And hopefully you are watching live on Facebook and streaming on YouTube, WSTUtv.com. And you are listening to the Quality of Life radio show with Tom and Gary. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Quality of Life radio show. This is Gary Owen. I am the president of Owen Insurance Group, and we are located in downtown Stuart, Florida, right across the street from Brandon's office. And our show is sponsored by Cigna Medicare. We appreciate our carrier partner, Cigna, and we appreciate their help and their collaboration. And we're excited to see, we can't mention anything yet, what's going to happen this AEP season. We're going to talk about AEP next week because we'll be, what, Tom? 4 weeks, 1 month away from Medicare open enrollment.
Absolutely. Next week will be the final countdown.
So we're gonna do a countdown starting next week on Medicare open enrollment and what to look out for. So we're excited to share some information with our listeners. But I want to go back to this dude that we have in the back of the studio back here.
He's a cool dude.
And
This dude
he's a really
hanging
cool
out in the
dude,
back.
man. I see him taking up of his whiskey every once in a while. Didn't offer me any, but I know he has partners in his law firm. And so I just want to kind of have our audience get a sense of who your other partners are and what they do and specialize in, Brandon.
Absolutely. There are 4 names on the door: Woodward, Kelly, Fulton, and Kaplan. I mentioned what I do, the business and corporate side of things.
Wait. What name is first?
My name.
Why is? Ooh.
Oh my!
How'd you manage that?
I held out the longest.
Oh, did you get it in writing?
I held my breath, and yes, we have it in
I'll bet you
writing.
have a contract.
I also know my partners are listening this morning because I made them,
Oh, my.
So he has that much power and influence.
and they're texting me right now that. Well, I can't really tell you what they're texting me right now on an FCC radio station. No, we have partners, and Craig Kelly is probably a dazzling intellect. He's also a professor of bankruptcy law down at Palm Beach State College, and very, very smart. I think he's aggressive. He's one of the best debt and workout guys I've ever met. Very, very sharp. Been my friend for a fairly long time. Our other partner is Andrew Fulton, he's so good at litigation. He sees litigation strategy. He also handles appeals, and which is not a whole lot of attorneys in Florida, really have the ability to go and handle appeals and things like that. When it comes to legal strategy and litigation, that's Andrew. The workhorse of our team is Dana Kaplan, who I know is listening, and she is very, very good on the bankruptcy side of things. Just absolute workhorse, and we all do very well together. We have different strengths. We complement each other. Some of them like to go out and meet people and do stuff like radio shows. Others of our partners just like, you know what, just let's get the work done. And between the four of us, we've worked very, very well since we put the firms together about 2 years ago.
That's a great relationship. I love to hear that. I want to just touch real quick. We're running out of time, but I want to touch real quick. You mentioned bankruptcy because with COVID-19, we have seen the absolute financial devastation that has caused many business owners, many homeowners, and it's a struggle. It's real and it's horrific to see what's going on out there. So we know I could be wrong, but I believe that your partners are going to be extremely busy here in the coming months and years with bankruptcies. So what would you tell people out there who are listening, who are struggling financially and seeking a good bankruptcy attorney, and how should they go about that?
Well, you want, first of all, you need to really take an honest, sober look at your business, and let's confine it to business and leaving personal bankruptcy out of this. Business bankruptcy is its own sort of animal. It's fairly specialized. It's very technical. It's a federal court filing, so there are rules to follow along here. The upside is at the conclusion of a business bankruptcy, the business can either be dissolved or reorganized. That's a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 11. But you asked my advice, and that is take a sober, very serious look about where is this business? Can we recover from this? Have we made enough money? Have we blown through all our savings? What do the next 6 months look like? What do the next year look like? If your customer base just isn't there anymore, if you're in the restaurant supply business, and restaurants are going to be hurt for a very, very, very long time. If you're in the tour business or the travel business, I can see that these are going to be impacted for a long time. Then it might be time to start thinking about, well, how do we unwind this? How can we, either if there's debt involved, that lends itself to a bankruptcy. If you've been able to run your business without debt, then it might just be simply a temporary stopping of business and pick it up later. There's a right and a wrong way to do that. It could be just closing the business with an idea of reopening it later. But specifically towards bankruptcy, Chapter 7 liquidates everything and all the debts disappear. A Chapter 11 is a restructuring of the business where all the debts ultimately get paid, but they are somewhat restructured and the business keeps going. I can go on for that for a while, but that's Dana and Craig's area, and they can speak much more intelligently about that. And they're happy to do it if you call us.
So also, do you do personal bankruptcies as well, or do you focus primarily on business?
Our firm does both.
Okay.
There is two kinds of bankruptcies in that. There's certainly a Chapter 7, which many people are familiar with. There's also Chapter 13 bankruptcy, which is a reorganization. That's if you have a steady job, just the bills have gotten a little bit out of control, and we're not going to be able to pay them all at once. Perhaps Chapter 13 is a solution right there. We never encourage anybody to go bankrupt. We don't certainly push this. We offer it as an option, and we certainly let everybody know, the entire scheme of things, how it all works. We never leave our clients wondering what the next step is. They have a very clear idea about what's going on and what we do for them.
So for those of you that are listening out there and find yourselves financially incapacitated, you're struggling, please reach out to my good friend Woodward at 772-497-6444. 6544. I remembered that. Pretty good.
Nice.
I remember it because of the ink. So again, contact their office at 772-497-6544 to get some advice on what you should do and the route you should take. So we know there's a lot of problems out there today, business-wise and personal and with family. So get the help that you need. And by the way, for those of you out there that are listening who are business owners, I also have put together a small business owner networking group. So if you own a small business, we meet the first and third Friday right now virtually every month. If you want more information on that and how to join the group, and if you qualify to join the group, contact me at the office at Owen Insurance Group. That number again is 772-210-1020. Tom, we have maybe 7 minutes left. So going back to Medicare real quick, because I think it's important that people know how much we charge, because Brandon charges an arm and a leg, and sometimes most times consultations are not free, unlike our business. So what is it that we do that we can help our clients?
Well, we do have the privilege to be able to provide no cost or no obligation consultations about their insurance needs. We are compensated from the carrier, so we don't charge a consultation fee.
So the only time that we would do that, for example, we had one of my clients had a life insurance policy. Her husband unfortunately passed away, and she didn't speak very good English, so she was from another country, so she needed help with filing claims and so forth. So we can and we will charge a fee over top of that to help consumers navigate that complicated process. But yes, when it comes to Medicare planning, I think it's important that everybody know, because people think that we charge a fee to help them. So that's why they try to navigate the complicated maze of Medicare by themselves, because they think they're going to try to save money. And then really what happens is it causes them to spend a lot of money.
Absolutely, because they'll get one thing in the mailbox on one day and they want to go online, or they call the phone number and they hear something or they see something, and then they go research it and Google it. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But at the end of the day, when you can have years and years of experience and thousands of people that Gary and I and our agents as well have literally helped navigate the options and of Medicare and the changes in Medicare. People were telling me, "Oh, you can't be on a Plan F." You know, my father's retiring; he's 70 years old. Plan F went away. And for those of you that don't know what that means, that's an example. But those,
well, you should be calling us.
And those that do know what Medicare Supplement Plan F is and that it went away, you have a little bit of knowledge, but not the full knowledge. Well, so all those things are very easy for us. It's because we focus on that and we help simplify insurance planning so that you can enjoy the stress-free life you deserve. So,
and then probably my single most important piece of advice for everybody out there listening, I don't care whether you're turning 65, you're looking at Medicare, you're looking for a basic term life insurance policy, or we're getting more complicated with an indexed universal life insurance policy to utilize in conjunction with retirement, whether it's long-term care planning, whether it's dental vision plan, an accident or sickness plan, things of that nature, health insurance, whether it's individual or group of health insurance. You should, just like you would consult an attorney, to provide you the advice and counsel that you need, you should be contacting the experts at Owen Insurance Group so we can give you some advice and counsel. And listen, you may not like us. You may think Tom's nose is a little bit too flat or too large or too funny. You might think that my eyebrows are too long. You just might not like us for whatever reason.
I like your goatee, though.
I do like my goatee, actually. I just trimmed it up last night and this morning. And Kathy loves my goatee. I was going to shave it, and she forbade me to do that. But getting back on track again, on the insurance planning track, contact Tom and Gary. It's a Tom and Gary show. We should call it the Tom and Jerry show. Our cartoons. We have cartoons about ourselves.
That's right.
I like the cartoon Tom and Jerry show. But nonetheless,
which one's Tom? The cat?
You are.
I forgot for a moment.
Well, listen, that's
Tom,
what happens.
Cat or
what's what happens? You get on the radio show
cat or the rabbit
for a period of such a long time, but we are. But really, in all seriousness, it's truly important that you reach out to us. If you just have a question to ask that question. get your questions answered, and we'll help provide you unbiased information to get you what you need and take you down the path where you need to go so you don't make a mistake, because the decisions you make today can last a lifetime. So it's important to get it right the first time. And it's been my experience that when you choose to do this on your own and choose to navigate the complicated maze of Medicare and insurance planning, you typically don't get it right. It's like trying to play an attorney and figure out all the stuff on your own. You're going to make a mistake. You're going to trip and fall, and it's going to cause you more trouble and heartache in the long run.
I'd say about 20-30% of the clients that I help, they should have called me a month or two before, because by the time they call me and contact me, maybe their initial enrollment period ended, or they just didn't quite get their Part B activated. They say, I got my Medicare card and it only has Part A. And they say, oh, I thought when I retired, it would automatically come. So many small things can be alleviated by just giving us a call. Let us advise, let us consult. There's no fee for that. It's free, and it'll save yourself a lot of hassle.
I just wrote an article yesterday for the River Living magazine, which will come out next month. A lot of great content in there. I had to keep it at 450 words, Brandon, and like an attorney, it's kind of hard to keep things concise in 450 words. I think I went over 11 words. It was 461 words, but it was still a great article, and I think that it's going to provide good content, good information for consumers living in Martin County. As we approach the AEP season, the open enrollment season, what is it that you should do? What should you do? So I'm giving clear, concise advice of the steps you should take, the pitfalls to avoid. And Brandon, there is right across the street from you, there is this phenomenal insurance agency that provides phenomenal information and education advice. Do you know how? Do you have any idea who these people are?
I've heard of them. I'm sitting in the studio, and they have their logos on their shirts. But you're exactly right, Gary. You want to talk to the experts in a field. Don't get your advice from internet. Don't get your advice from friends and relatives that are not in the insurance business. Friends and relatives, neighbors over the back fence that are not in the accounting business. Certainly not in the law business. Lots of bad information out there, a lot of just misconceptions out there, particularly in insurance. And whether you are getting ready to turn 65, getting ready to think about, life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance in the business context or not, you absolutely want to talk to somebody that speaks the language and does this every day. Gary, I also do some lectures for different legal publications, and there's insurance agents sometimes are the everything bagel. They will sell you everything, and they want to be the expert on everything. And I always encourage people, look, stay with what you're good at. And I know you guys are the best, or among the best here in Martin County when it comes to not only being community minded and doing what's right for the community, but you also are very generous with your time and your talent and giving that sort of solid advice. Yes. That's important. And then you back it up with the right product for the right client at the right time in their life.
That's absolutely spot on. We appreciate that. And it truly is about, it's an approach. It's an holistic approach to that person's need. And to what you said earlier, neighbors talking over the fence about what it's amazing, Tom, the number of people that come in with a certain plan. And we ask them,